There will be a pivotal moment in your life where you really doubt yourself. But it's not going to be the regular self doubt that comes and goes. That almost always happens with anything that you're inexperienced in. This self doubt is going to happen with something that you're already very experienced in. And it'll feel like everything you've been working for relies on this one moment. But the problem is, you yourself won't be able to fix it because it will happen on one day, in one moment, just as you're about to start. And at that one moment, you're going to need someone else to remind you who you really are. Mine happened when I was 16 years old. Through the ages of 10 to 14 years old, I was doing track and field outside of school for a club. And obviously, everyone specializes in different events. Mine was the 100 meters. Now, when I joined secondary school at age 11, you'd now start to race other schools at district meets. And at the end of the year, you'd have the opportunity to race for a medal. And through the ages of 11 to 16, I'd never lost because my event was the 100 meters. I was doing it outside of school. I was fairly proficient. But at the age of 16, this school year, there was someone who was just a little bit slower than me in the 100 meters. However, they were a lot worse than me at the hurdles. And so to maximize the school points we'd get, among other schools in this district meet at the end of the year, I was put on hurdles this year. So I was practicing hurdles all throughout the year to come to the end of the district meet at the end of the year. And so now we reach the end of the year at the district meet, the year I'm doing the hurdles. And I go through the heats, I go through the semi-finals, and I reach the final. And as I walk over to line up with at the start line, who do I see? I see the club hurdler. Now this guy is extremely experienced, maybe a little bit more than me. You'd hope so. He's the club hurdler. He's been hurdling for, I think, 5, 6 years at this point. And this was my first year. And I usually do the 100 meters. I'm not used to hopping over hurdles. And when I see him, I even just got it just then, just thinking back, just this massive hole in my stomach. Like, oh my goodness. This might be the first time I ever lose. And so as I'm doing our warm-ups, we're doing like the starts, my brother walks over and he says, "How are you feeling?" I said, "Yeah, I'm feeling all right." He said the usual, like, "Race well, see you at the finish line," right? But as he's walking away, I ask him, "What if I lose?" And you know what he says? He says, "Shut the fuck up," and just walks off. Now, at the time, I didn't really know what effect that had on me or what was going on inside my head. But I think at that moment, all self-doubt was erased and I just had to focus on the race. I don't even know to this day if he'd done it on purpose or if he even remembers. I've not even spoken about this until now. But he just said, "Shut the fuck up," and just walked off like he just had utter disdain for me. Just, yuck, bye. And so we line up to race. The gun goes, And you know, in a race, in a dash, you can feel people beside you, but you just have to focus on what's ahead. Otherwise, you start turning your head, you start veering, you slow down. There's hurdles in front of you, you're going to trip. And I just keep going. And then eventually I just feel less of a presence on the side of me. Duck my head, look to the side, and then I wait for the result. We go to sit down at 3 different chairs, who's first, second, third. I'm waiting to see where they put me. And they said, you came first. I still remember that moment. That's like so vividly. I just saw it in my head. And then they put the medal on me, the gold medal. I'm looking at my dad and my brother. And I walk over. They're giving me the, hey, well done, well done. And I just start crying. And that is the only time in my entire life I've ever cried happy tears. I don't know what came over me. I was just overwhelmed completely. I just put my head down and just started crying. Now, of course, not everyone has an older brother who can obviously say anything to you. You know the older brother hierarchy. The older they are to you, the bigger the boss they are. They can say whatever they want. But you don't need an older brother. You just need someone who operates in such a surplus with regards to how much value they provide you as opposed to take away from you. And if you don't know who these people are in your life, I'll link the video to my other video so you can watch that after, because there's going to be a moment in your life where you need one of these people to tell you to shut up.